Good morning, and I pray that this is certainly a good morning for everyone. Uh, no matter what problems you may have, it's still a good morning because it's a good morning to be alive. I'm here this morning again to share a word with you of encouragement as we go through this coronavirus season of our life, and hopefully we can stay connected because there is blessings that's coming out of this quarantine is that we are hopefully getting more connected with each other, with family, friends, church as well. So we pray that this morning a word would be an encouraging word to you as well. As we all know, this corona virus is a very serious matter in our life and our experience of life. But there's also another very important, I think, virus that is here with us that we somehow need to overcome, and that is this emotional virus. Coronavirus is certainly dangerous, but emotional virus is also a burden and a danger. And that emotional virus that I speak of this morning is unforgiveness. Unforgiveness. Nobody wants to discuss forgiveness because all of us desire to have it, but few of us want to give it back to somebody else. And Jesus says to us very plainly, He said, we receive forgiveness. If we do not forgive others, then our Heavenly Father will not forgive us. So we need to make sure we understand the area of overcoming this or emotional virus. And I want to say this morning that forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. Refusal to forgive can imprison you by toxic emotion that can stay in our heart based on a past offense. I refuse to allow what happened in my past to sabotage my future. I'll say again, forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. As you work through forgiving, I want you to remember these three details to help you understand what forgiveness is not. And I think that's very important that we know what is not as well as knowing what it is. Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. Forgiveness is not a feeling. Some writer wrote that it's the manifestation. It is not a manifestation of a feeling. Forgiveness is an act of the will. It's not about how you feel. It's not based on if I feel like forgiving. You don't forgive because you like them. You forgive because you like you. When you refuse to allow yourself to be tied to them for the rest of your life. So it's an act of what sometimes it's an act of what someone else did intentionally or unintentionally. Either way, it's a part of their imperfections. And all of us have some imperfections. So what I'm saying is forgiveness is not a sign of weakness. It's really a sign of strength. Because forgiveness is a choice. And the choice is you forgive because you like you. It's not about them. You're forgiving because you like you. I did a sermon series some years ago, and it was entitled Grieve, Forgive, Let It Go. So never forget it. It's about grieve, forgive, let it go. Grieve means you have a right to get mad about it. You have a right to be upset about it. But then there comes a time when we got to forgive. And then the next part of it was is you get a part that you have to learn how to let it go. So this morning, what we're doing this morning is sharing this word, and the first point of it is forgiveness is not a sign of weakness. Forgiveness is a sign of strength. The second point is forgiveness is not an excuse. It's not an excuse. Well, what do you mean? It's not excusing their behavior. We're not excusing their behavior. But what I'm doing is I'm making a decision not to be tied to that situation, to be emotionally controlled by that situation. I'm making a decision this morning that I'm not going to be allow them to tie me up and keep me in bondage. So I refuse for the rest of my life to be triggered by that offense. I refuse to allow unforgiveness to be in my heart, and every time I come into a room, somehow that person is in that room and it alters my mood and it changes because of who they are, what they have done into my life. So forgiveness is not, I'm telling you, it is not an excuse. My other thing this morning, brothers and sisters, is that, and fam, this morning, look, forgiveness is not trust. Yeah, forgiveness is not trust. Forgiveness is a grace gift that you give yourself. Let me say that real plainly. Forgiveness is a grace gift that you give yourself. Trust is earned. Trust comes from having a trustworthy spirit toward someone else. Now, just because you have forgiven them for an act in the past doesn't mean you trust them moving forward in the future. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. Forgiveness is a gift that you give yourself. So, what we discussed this morning is forgiveness is not a weakness, it's a strength. Forgiveness is not an excuse. Forgiveness is not trust. I'm encouraging you today. I'm really encouraging you today to please forgive. I'm encouraging you this morning to let it go. Life is too short to hold on to stuff year after year, month after month. So our word this morning is forgiveness. It doesn't make you shout, but it relieves a lot of burden. And look, so I want you to do it because you're not suffering from an epidemic, because really unforgiveness puts you in an epidemic. And unforgiveness is just like having this virus that we don't know where it comes from. It's here, but what it's doing is, in many ways, is making a cleansing of our life. This quarantine is allowing us to examine our life. And if there's unforgiveness in your heart, I pray that you will please today forgive. Because it's like this. Walking in unforgiveness is equivalent to drinking poison and expecting someone else to die. Let's be free, fam. Let's be free. Let's be free, friends. Let's be free. God wants us to be free. Stop drinking this poison and thinking somebody else is going to die. You know who's going to die with this unforgiving spirit? You are. Forgiveness is our word for this Friday. It's a mighty good day to be alive.